Hello. Hi, good people. How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing amazing. I am doing absolutely fine. I'm just in that phase of coming back together, coming back to me, coming back to being me, being happy, being smiley, all hyper. Yeah, that's my current situation. So it's been a while and we are back. We said hii mwaka hata kama tunapotea kidogo tunarudi. Tunapotea kidogo then we are back. So this is me back and I'm super grateful to be here. A lot has been going on for the past 1 week. I've been in and out of hospital, but we thank God that I'm here and I am well. I'm still under medication, but yeah, we need to just come here and be all positive and show the devil that it's okay, you're trying us on the other side, but we are not giving you the chance to break us completely. It's okay. Deal with the other stuff, deal with my body, deal with my whatever, deal with my mental health, but please, this smile, you're not taking it away from me. So I think that is what is just keeping me going. And let's jump right into it. And yeah, we will actually be talking about bloodline in terms of the Bible aspect, not really the physical aspect and the family setup that we have, but our bloodline, the power of the bloodline in the spiritual setup. So we are all children of God. No one should tell you otherwise. We're all children of the Most High, and we have a seed of Christ, a seed of the Almighty God is planted in us. So we have our bloodline comes from Him. And when you look at everything that has been happening from the people that were back then, our ancestors, Moses, Abraham, who when you look at them and you try to relate, your bloodline is really something that you should study, because I have been in that phase where you see, when the devil wants to break you totally, he brings these negative thoughts to you. When the devil wants to break you, he won't just come and finish you mara moja. What he will do is he will feed you with whichever information that you will just distract your mindset, whichever information that will come as a threat to you, any information that will trigger your mind, trigger your thinking, trigger your faith. He will come with that. And when he comes with that, the moment your mind is unsettled, the moment your mental state is not stable and focused to God, that's when he finds the chance to completely crush you. So I've been in a phase where I've been really doubting myself. I doubt the things that I do. I doubt my career. I doubt everything completely about myself. And then after doubting, questioning, sitting, just having a lot in my mind, I had a voice in me and it said, do you really know your bloodline? Like, do you really know where you come from? Do you really know the family that you belong to? Like, do you really know? Why are you questioning God? Why are you questioning yourself? Why are you questioning these things? Why are you questioning life? Why are you like, I could question everything, not knowing that was the enemy trying to crush me. And he doesn't do it, like, he doesn't do it in a minute. He doesn't do it in, like, he takes like a process. He studies your weakness, he studies you, then he comes up with a plan. He knows your weakness, he knows what breaks you completely, he strategizes, then he comes up with a plan, then he strikes. So the moment he strikes, once you fall into his trap, that's it. So I think I had fallen into his trap. I had really fallen into his trap. And now coming out of it, it's a process. Coming out of it, stretching out of it, it's something else. So God just reminded me, Faye, what is your bloodline? In a spiritual setup, what is your bloodline? I know in a worldly setup, traditions have made us believe different things. Traditions have made us believe certain families, certain societies, certain communities. Tradition has a lot. But now let's talk in terms of a spiritual aspect. What does your bloodline say? Which bloodline do you belong to? And once you know that you have the seed of God in you, You belong to a certain bloodline, a bloodline of winners, a bloodline of champions, a bloodline of people who made it through, a bloodline where people don't give up. When you look at your ancestors, there's a verse that says, I don't really know, I don't really remember the exact verse or the exact book, but if I find it, I'll post it here on the Nini and you guys will get to see it. It says, when you want to be like them, look at their life, read what they went through, go through what they like, look at their lives and mimic them. You want to be like Abraham, read his life, look at his life, what did he do, then mimic him. You want to be like someone in the Bible, look at his life and mimic. The word there that actually it was highlighted in my mind was mimic what they do, imitate what they did. You want certain progress in your life, you want certain achievements, mimic what they did, mimic what your ancestors did. And that thing, it just like, it was like a highlighter. It was like, God, it's okay, nimesikia, thank you God, yeah, the volume iko sawa, I have had. Look at what they did, look at what your ancestors did, mimic, imitate what they did. And I'm telling you, once you imitate what they did, something, it is the Nini is just guaranteed. Winning is guaranteed. Everything else, totally guaranteed. The thing is, mimic what they did, imitate what they did. How did they overcome fear? How did they overcome this? I'm trying to build something. How do I build my faith? How do I go through this? How do I go through this? Imitate them. How do I stay in a den full of lions? Go read how Daniel did it. Imitate him. How did Moses do it? He was a stammerer. How could he lead? How could he do it? Go read about him. Imitate him. You know, once you understand your bloodline, I think living life gets easier in a way that certain things won't be giving you, like certain thoughts won't be really weighing you down. You want to be a leader, you want to do this, you want to save certain groups. How did these people do? Esther stood up, fearless, went to the palace, did 1, 2, 3, talked before the palace. Her life was at risk, but she did it. How did she do it? How do you lead? How do you do certain things? Go read about them, mimic them, imitate what they did. Imitate what they did. I think that's just our take home today. Our take home today is, you want to achieve certain things in life. Look at your ancestors, look at your bloodline. How did they do it? Because in your bloodline, there is traps of winning, there is traps of championship. There's everything that you need in your bloodline. How did they do it? A lot of things have happened. You feel like your life is a mess. You feel like everything you're doing, your life is a mess. You're an addict, you're an alcoholic, you're just a lot. You feel like your life is messed up. Go read about the prodigal son. How did he do it? Imitate how he did. He went back to the father and submitted and said, God, he said, Dad, just give me anything. Anything that you give to me, I will accept. Imitate what they did. Go back to God. Pray to God. Ask for forgiveness. He will sure take you back. The thing is just going back, looking at what your ancestors did and imitate. How did they do it to overcome? How did Abraham do it? How did he reach to a point where he was able to obey what God said? He was able. Go read about him. How do you want to build your faith? Read about him. Imitate what he did. Imitate his works. Imitate his life. Imitate his ways of praying. Imitate these things from, oh my God. I think I thought this was me just coming and sharing it here, and I feel like God is trying to sharpen some edges that were blunt in me, and is just telling me, Faye, just go back and imitate them. A lot of things are happening right now. A lot of chaos is around the world. But why don't you just pause for a minute and reflect back? Pause for a minute and reflect back. How did Abraham do it? How did Moses do it? How did Nehemiah do it? How did Jeremiah do it? How did Job come out of that sickness? It was a lot. 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 How did he come out of it? I've been sick, as I've said, I've been in and out of hospital, in and out, and I've reached to a point I couldn't even pray. I just sat down and I cried and I told God, this pain, my head was really, at that point, my head was really aching and I couldn't bend, I couldn't stand straight, I could just like lie with my head up. And I cried and I told God, why? This pain is too much for me. The medication is too much. Everything is just, I miss being healthy. I miss being back to my normal self. I miss being this. And then I just remembered Job. I remembered how Job was sick. The sickness on Job, it was something else. And I told God, if he was able to praise you in that situation, why am I complaining with this? Why am I complaining with a mere headache? Why am I complaining with a mere stomachache? And I went back. I looked at how he lived during his illness, how he was during his sickness. And I said, okay, let me imitate him. Let me not complain during the sickness, but give thanks during the sickness. Let me not complain because I've lost 1, 2, 3. Let me not complain because of the losses in my life, but actually give thanks because profits are coming. Let me not complain because Job didn't complain when he was sick, but he was there giving thanks. He was there telling God, thank you. He was there praising God. He was there doing all the things that he could do, not to actually question God, but he was there to praise God. Why am I doing the opposite? Why am I complaining? Why am I doing the opposite? Why don't I mimic my ancestors? Why don't I copy what he did? Why don't I imitate what he did and see if I'll not get the same results? And then I went back. I was like, you know what, God? Back to thanksgiving, back to acknowledging you, back to you fully. Less with the complaints, not even less with the complaints, actually. Done with the complaints, done with the questioning, but back with thanksgiving, back with the praise, back with honoring you. And I'm very sure that soon, just the results that Job had, they're the results that I'm going to get soon. Full compensation of good health. Full health. Good health is coming. But it will only come if I imitate how Job did. And I think just allow me read some of the highlights of our bloodline so that we can know that these things are possible. Making it is possible. Going through shit and coming out of it, it's possible because people in our bloodline, they actually made it. They came out from that strong and able. So let me just read 2 or 3 episodes and then we'll have an idea of everything. We'll just have an idea of what we are talking about. 1, it says, Moses parted the Red Sea. He was able to part the Red Sea, meaning there's great faith in your bloodline. Meaning you don't have an excuse to lack faith. Why are you not having faith in God? If Moses was able to do it, who are you? Who are you to lack faith? David, a shepherd boy, defeated Goliath with only few pebbles he picked from the ground. That means courage is in your bloodline. So please stop telling us, oh, you're not so confident, you're not so courageous. Courage lies in your bloodline. What excuse do you have? Other one says, Samson, he took a building. And and that means there's supernatural strength in your bloodline. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. So that weakness that you think you have, no, it doesn't belong. It doesn't belong in our bloodline. There is strength in our bloodline. Nehemiah, he rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem when all odds were against him. All odds were actually against him, but he did it. Meaning, determination and persistence runs through our bloodline. Let me tell you, just reading through this, I'm like, oh my God. Listen to this. Queen Esther, she put her life on the line to save God's people. she put her life on the line when she went to save, try and save the people of her. Was it from who? This song, I don't know why, but this song Yawaraka Money is ringing in my mind right now when I'm reading about Esther. But you guys are familiar with the story. So yeah, she put her life on the line to just go and save God's people. That means sacrifice and heroism. It's in our bloodline. So you have to sacrifice for the things that you love. You have to sacrifice for the people that you love. Sacrifice runs in your bloodline. Do you understand these things? Like, Eddie, when you want to try and run from reality and just create an excuse, we are like, not in our bloodline. Our bloodline says different. We are champions. We are winners. We are not ordinary. We are doing things in an extraordinary way because in our bloodline we do things differently. In our bloodline we roll differently. We move we speak differently. You know, someone said, always be a person who speaks positive things about your life. Even when you're joking around, always speak good things about yourself, about your life, about your family, about your future, about your destiny, because words have power. So even as people in our bloodline, no, we don't talk mediocrity. No, we don't talk things that are beneath us. No, we talk winning. We talk things that are above us. We talk in a positive way. So you guys, we are talking differently, we are walking differently, we are acting differently, we are actually doing things in a different way because we are not ordinary. We come from an extraordinary bloodline and we have to live in an extraordinary way. Leave a mark in where you go. Leave a mark. Anywhere that you go, make sure you leave a mark. Let them know Fezun was here. Let them know she was here. You're full of fear. You're full of the things that maybe things that threaten you, things that threaten your confidence, things that threaten your courage. Step out and leave a mark. Step out and leave a mark, because life will always shackle you down to your downfalls, to the things that you did and you didn't win, to the things that you did and didn't make out, to the things that you tried and failed, they didn't succeed. Life will always shackle you down to that. But what if you stop looking at yourself from the eyes that you are viewing yourself from? God sees you as a winner. God sees you as a champion already. God sees you as a person who has already excelled. Why are you seeing yourself as a person who has lost in life? Why are you seeing yourself as a person who doesn't deserve the good things in life? Why are you viewing yourself as a small person while God sees you as a big person, as a great person, as a better person? Stop seeing yourself in the way that you're seeing yourself. Stop viewing yourself as a small person. Stop viewing yourself in a way that people will look down on you. No. You're bigger than that. You're greater than that. You're way past that. Because he who is within you is greater. And he can do anything. Anything that he has to do. He can turn everything around. Within a second, he can turn it all around. I know the situation right now might not seem like it. The situation around you, life might have crushed you completely and made you feel like, really, can I make it in life? Really, can I come out from this? Really, can I find my strength in this? But it's only when you look up to God and find your identity in him. Find your identity in him. Who am I in you, Christ? Who am I in you? When you see me, God, who do you see me as? God sees you as a winner. God sees you as someone who is precious to him. God sees you. You're very important to God. So please stop finding your identity in your current life situation, in your surroundings, in your environment, in your community. No. Go to God and find your identity there. When you find your identity in him, you will identify your bloodline in him. And you'll start walking in accordance to your bloodline. You'll start walking in accordance to how your ancestors walked with God. You'll start walking and start acting in ways that actually identify and categorize that truly she is in the right bloodline. In which bloodline do you belong to? Do you belong to the one that actually gives up at just at a call of anything? Do you belong in a bloodline that shrinks when there's thunder outside, or do you belong to the one that stands out and tell the winds and the storm to, be still? Are you the one who battles with fear, and when you try 1, 2, 3 times it fails, you're the one that quits and says, I'll not try again? Or you'll be that person who will say, it's okay, I've tried for like 10 times, it hasn't worked, but this time I'm trying, and I'm trying with God. Maybe you've been trying alone, maybe you've been doing life alone, you've been dealing with life and things have not been working out, things have not been making sense, just because you've been doing it alone. But this time God is telling you, I'm here, let's do it with you. I'm here, I'll guide you, let me do it with you. God is telling you, cast that net again. Once again, cast that net. I know you've spent the whole night, nothing. You've catched nothing. You've spent the whole night, but you have nothing to show. You have no result to show. You have no evidence to show. You've worked for 10 years. You've done these things. People know that you've done it, but you have nothing. You have no result to show. What if you've been doing it the wrong way? What if you've been doing it just for the sake of doing it? And this time God is telling you, let me do it with you. Let me guide you. Let me do it with you. Go back, know your bloodline, and know, who do we approach in this family? Who do we go to first? We approach God first. I want to do this. Lead me, guide me. I don't want to be doing it just for the sake of doing it. I don't want to be seen working just for the sake of working, but I want to be doing it. And at the end of the day, I leave a mark. At the end of the day, I leave an impact. At the end of the day, I really leave a mark that truly she was here and she did something. Not just because of doing it, but actually doing it and leaving a mark. Doing it and leaving a legacy. Doing it and leaving something that's substantial to be looked at and said, truly she was here and she was led by God while doing it. Don't do it alone. Don't live alone.